Hello, my name is Yasmin and I'm the New Monday blogger. A little bit about myself is I'm an art student studying in a university in a city. That's all you need to know. First thing I want to do is share a story with you all. It's exciting, I think. So earlier this week, my friend Suhail and I, we decided it was a rough week, so we were going to walk down to this lovely canal I have right down the street and set up the hookah for us and our friends to come and join us later. And as we were walking down the street, there's this bridge that intersects with our walkway, and we saw a man, maybe in his like 30s or something, riding his bike, and he was wearing like an Ed Hardy t-shirt, so I automatically knew he was up to no good. But he was riding his bike towards us, and he was like mumbling, like it was pretty far down the bridge, but he was mumbling something. So we kept walking, and then he started shouting like really loud at us, and he was saying derogatory terms towards African Americans at two Middle Eastern people. He followed us, and we were a little confused to what was he trying to do, you know? He was threatening kind of, and he started to get really close, and he was like, "Ah!" Like just like yelling at the top of his lungs at us, and we were just like standing there, we're like, and we saw him shake his bike, and he went back down the road mumbling his, racist comments. I guess that little bit of racism that I encountered here in college, which is something I expect to happen sooner, really fits in with this week's topic. When I heard that this week's topic was about Shaima al-Wadi, it really clicked with me, because what those things have in common are ignorance. Ignorance is a monster, and unfortunately that monster is inside of all of us. Regardless how educated we are, there's always a form of ignorance inside of us. And some people have it worse than others. What really got to me with Shaima was the note that was left with her that said, "Go back to your own country, you're a terrorist." And that reminded me of my childhood. When I was 12 years old, a boy stopped me in the hall, and he told me, "Go back to your own country. We don't want you here." And he shouted at me as he continued walking, and I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. That was stuff you saw in movies. That was stuff that you saw on TV shows. It didn't happen in the real life. It didn't happen in the real world, but it did. And I was just kind of like, what do I do now? It stuck with me, that ignorance, that racism. And from that point, I saw the world differently. I saw that there is a lot of racism left. What most people know about Muslims and Islam is what they see on TV, or what they see online or hear on the radio, and honestly, it's not good stuff that they're hearing. There's very few good things. And that's the face that they're getting of us. And the best way to combat that is through education. And I honestly do not think that there's enough being done to stop ignorance against Muslims and Middle Eastern people. I believe that if the people around Shaima were properly educated or shown the truth about Islam, this could have been prevented. All of this reminds me of the Quran verse: have forgiveness, preach the truth, and keep away from the ignorant ones. I think that as Muslims, it's our job to create a positive face for Islam in America. I think the ignorance that we encounter could be stopped if we take a defensive stance. There are 3 defenses that you can do. First one is a negative defense, and that's where you just kind of lie low, you know, you just kind of letting everything go over, blow over, whatever. That's what most people do. They do the negative defense. They are just like, whatever, let them be dumb. The problem with that is that when you don't do anything to stop it, people think that they can continue to act that way. The other defense is an elastic defense, where you could go either way. Most of the time, you're just doing enough to protect yourself personally. You just say, hey, that's not nice. Don't do that, please. You're saying something, but you're not really solving the problem. I think that the best defense would be a positive defense. And a positive defense is where you're striking back. So let's say that someone's attacking you through the media. You would respond back by pointing them out and saying, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to calm down. Point out what's wrong, and then you correct it. And it's basically kind of like you're grading a paper You know, you circle it and you say, no, this is what it should be. With this new education that people have, I think that they're going to spread it. Well, the hope is that they're going to spread it. With this knowledge spread, there should be less ignorance. You know, you're teaching someone from a young age that something's like that, it's going to stick with them for the rest of their life. Do your part, and at any chance you're given, educate. Even if you're not a good teacher, speak up. Because someone's life may be depending on it. That's all I have for this video. I hope you guys have a great Monday, and I will catch you next week.